Hello, good morning everybody. Welcome back to another silly little vlog. Apologies if the lighting in here is bad. It is fully winter and the sun does not come out, so it's very dark in my apartment. We just stayed in yesterday and had a very cozy day at home, which you saw. I made a dried orange garland. I did a simmer pot. I made cookies and just snuggled on the couch with Odie and played video games. I started a new save game on Stardew Valley several weeks ago, and I've just been having a ball. I've been having fun, working on my farm and doing all my little side quests. Patrick surprised me the other day after work. He brought home a tiny little Christmas tree that he got from M&S. It came with little battery powered lights on it, so we've had that on at night while we eat dinner and watch Downton Abbey. We had a bunch of wrapped presents sitting very cutely around our tree. Our families very sweetly sent us some care packages with American snacks and treats and PJs and socks and all kinds of stuff. And I know all of this because we already opened all the presents. Hey, it's still 2 weeks before Christmas, by the way. But Odie would not stop crying at all the presents. The presents lasted about one full day because he was inconsolable wanting to open them. We tried giving him one at a time to busy himself, and here's how that went.
Wow, what did you get? You got some balls? Okay, we gotta open the bag first.
A few moments later.
He's just obsessed with presents. It's the same whenever we get a package at our door, we have to immediately open it in front of him to prove that it's not filled with toys. Because sometimes there are toys in our Amazon packages for him, so he just assumes that every present, every box has something inside for him. My family sent us little stockings to decorate, ornaments, socks, candy. They sent my favorite candy, which is, I think the brand is Brookside. It's dark chocolate, pomegranate, or acai bites, which I can't show because we already ate both bags. We also got matching wiener dog pajamas, which I was very excited about because I love to match. I think it's like a girlhood thing. Me and my best friend growing up, we loved a matching t-shirt, matching rings, matching friendship bracelet. Patrick, not so much into matching with me. So when we got the matching pajamas against his will, I was like, Patrick's family sent us a bunch of Southern style barbecue sauces. So we will be traveling to Flavor Town later today.
Oh yeah, that pork nugget, that'll hurt.
They also sent, and I cannot stress enough how excited we are for this, a bunch of stovetop stuffing mix. I love this shit. Stouffer's, if you can hear me. Stouffer's girl, I know you're watching. Wait, is the brand not Stouffer's? It's Kraft? Has it always been Kraft? Why did I think it was Stouffer's? Hello? Kraft girl, I know you're watching. We need you in the UK. Your people need you. Your patriots need you. I'm gonna turn our tree on right now for vibes. Ta-da! It's small, it's dinky, but it's ours, you know? Today is an exciting day because we're going to the Warner Brothers Harry Potter studio tour, Christmas edition, Hogwarts in the Snow edition. It's apparently cringy millennial to still like Harry Potter. All the 20-year-olds that I work with are like, yeah, it's okay, I guess, but I don't really understand the hype. And I'm like, yeah, because you weren't freaking there, bro. You don't get it.
I worry about Harry Potter fans because they should be over that by now.
Growing up in the 90s and early 2000s, whilst the books and movies were still actively coming out, was the best part of my childhood. All my happiest memories from childhood have to do with Harry Potter. My brother Ryan read the first 2 books to me out loud in like 97, 98, I think, before I was really reading big chapter books on my own. And that like launched me into reading by myself and into this fantasy fandom hyperfixation that kind of consumed most of my life. I remember going to the midnight releases for the books when they would come out at Barnes and Nobles, holding my book onto my chest and being like, nobody talk to me until I've read this. I'd see the movies with my best friend. We'd make matching t-shirts. We made a cake shaped like an owl. We made our own butterbeer. We made all of the characters out of clay and would pose them around her house to try to make her mom laugh. Like it just meant a lot to me. Also, as a kid, at the time I was dealing with some big adult feelings and navigating big adult problems where I shouldn't have been. And these stories just meant everything to me. They were my escape, they were my friends. I grew up with these characters. Every installment just felt like a big, warm hug to me when I needed it. So naturally, I have a lot of nostalgia. I have a lot of feelings about it. Sometimes I get weepy just hearing the opening music. So yeah, it might be cringy. And certainly some things have happened that kind of muddied the waters of the franchise, unfortunately. But I still have a lot of thanks for what the stories did for me as a kid. And I'm very excited to go see the film sets. We have been once before. We went in October of 2022 during their Dark Arts event. So it was all decorated for Halloween at the time. The Great Hall had hanging glowing pumpkins. They had actors dressed as Death Eaters that roamed around the sets. So it'll be fun to see all the same stuff and sets, but decorated for Christmas this time.
It's for children. I think it's for children.
I have 3 proposed outfit options. I don't know what house I want to identify with today. As a kid, I was a Gryffindor. I wanted to be part of the squad. Then in like high school, college, I felt more Ravenclaw because I was creative, I was studious. But now as an adult and a 32-year-old lady, I want to be a Hufflepuff because they're all chillers and they have the best common room. A hobbit hole by the kitchen, yeah, I'd be all up in there. But comfort-wise, I'm like very into this jumper at the moment. Also, hey, I've never said the word jumper in my life. This is a sweatshirt or a sweater in the US. Now to me, these are jumpers. I'm very into this one right now, so I think I'm going to pick that. The blue doesn't really go, but I have some like bronze gold colored pants that I can put with this to bring it together. Okay, this is what we're working with for my little Gryffindor adjacent outfit. I have turtleneck, my jumper. These are my favorite corduroy like gold pants, gold beanie. Yeah, it's very comfy cozy. I think I'm just going to maybe braid my hair and then we will get going.
Here's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Not all introverts are assholes.
Yeah.
All introverts are Harry Potter fans.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a blanket statement you can run with.
Yeah.
If you ever meet someone who's an introvert and they're not giving you very much, just go, hey, what house do you think the hat would have sorted you into?
And then watch the life come into...
Dude, if you ever see an introvert and they're just slinking around in the corner wallflowering at a party, just go up to them and be like, you're giving me Slytherin vibes. And they'd be like,
stop!
And they'll be like, oh God, I guess on my bad days, but I like to think of myself as a Griffin. You know, they just light up. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
To get to the studios from London, we took 2 trains and a bus. The trains to get to Watford, then from Watford there are shuttle buses that drive you directly to the studios. The lobby alone does not disappoint. That's the freaking dragon from Gringotts, okay? It is all looking very festive. There's a cafeteria here that was serving Christmas dinner and the Chocolate Frog Cafe for sweets and treats. I don't want to spoil how the tour begins for anyone. If you really want to know, you can look it up. But the way they start each tour is very fun and magical, and it all starts in the Great Hall. This room is whimsical as hell. There's costumes from some of the professors and house robes. Some of it is moving, the candles float up and down, the tree topper is flying, the tablescape is on fire. So many little details your eye just doesn't know where to look first. Ravenclaw's diadem is in this room. I'm just living my best life. We moved into the next room, which has some costumes and props from the Yule Ball, very on theme this time of year. There was a display for Luna Lovegood about character design and a myriad of different wigs they used for all the characters.
Have you worn wigs?
No, I have not.
Will you wear wigs?
Maybe.
When will you wear wigs?
Artwork and railings from the grand staircase, the faucets from the prefect's bathroom, and some specs from the leaky cauldron. That monster book is so silly. Then we've got the Gryffindor dormitory. The beds, so tiny by the way. The costumes, so small. Have to remember. Right, yeah, they made it for children, This case had all these very important movie trinkets in it. I'm like, what do you mean that's a Sorcerer's Stone right there, bro? Right next to the freaking time turner? Get real. There's the Slytherin common room, very moody, very opulent. A Chesterfield sofa hates to see a Malfoy coming. We also have the Gryffindor common room, all decked out for Christmas. They had the Christmas sweaters from the first movie. I love the tapestries and the worn furniture and rugs. This room felt very warm and cozy. Then you can step into Dumbledore's office. This room is really cool. All the old portraits and Gothic windows. Mind you, this is a small room in what's otherwise a giant warehouse, but it feels like you're in a castle. Again, just so many details, you don't know where to look because you don't want to miss anything. Then you can walk by the potions classroom. I love how they made these tables look burnt and stained. There's some cauldrons tending to themselves. All these glass bottles lining the walls are filled with different ingredients, from dried roses to mushrooms to fruit to I don't even know what. They have costumes from Snape and Slughorn. I was imagining this to be a really fun room to design and to stage. This next area had a mashup of several different movie moments. You walk by Hagrid's hut that's been dusted with snow. There's the night bus, the serpent door from Chamber of Secrets, Lupin's trunk, and one of my favorite sets, the Weasley's burrow. This has to be my preferred design aesthetic. Whenever I have my own home someday, it's gotta fall somewhere on the spectrum between dark, cozy academia and the Weasley family burrow. They have a couple displays from the school classrooms, the divination room where you can see the Grim amongst the tea leaves. There's a slice taken from the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom. You can see a recreation from the set of the Ministry of Magic. And then you can head on into the Forbidden Forest. The fun of walking around is you never really know what's going to come next. One moment you're in the Forbidden Forest, the next you're standing in front of the Hogwarts Express, eyes filled with tears and joy and magic. The pure heart of a child pulsing beneath your flesh. You can actually get onto the train and see all the decorated carriages. There's one decked out with the scabbers and the trolley cart, of course. At the halfway mark in the tour, there is another cafe area. We stopped to partake in some snacks and butterbeer, which tastes very much like the one you can get at Universal Studios in Florida. If you've never had it, it tastes like cream soda with butterscotch and sweet cream foam on top. It's quite tasty, I would say. There's an outdoor area here with some more sets. You can walk through Privet Drive and see all the flying Hogwarts letters and Aunt Marge looking large and in charge. There's also Harry's bedroom with Hedwig and a little Dobby, sweet baby angel. You can also walk through the greenhouse of the herbology classroom. Lots of crying baby mandrakes you can interact with. The next section of the tour dives deeper into the behind-the-scenes process, the making of the props and character design with prosthetics and mechanics. All the goblin masks were individually crafted. Some of the props, like the mandrakes, were engineered to move in real life. There were models of some of the big creatures they created, dragons and thestrals and the basilisk. Then you're transported into a very iconic set from Gringotts Bank. This also made me appreciate Universal Studios and how they recreated this for their theme parks, because it looks, I mean, exactly like this. This room is very grand and opulent. There's some more scenes from Gringotts, like the vault door from Sorcerer/Philosopher's Stone. There's Bellatrix's vault with all of the multiplying gold relics, including the Cup of Hufflepuff, and this part was super cool, a destroyed version of Gringotts after the freaking dragon escapes. Then we strolled through Diagon Alley. All the shop fronts here are so whimsical and nostalgic. These looked so much fun to build and clutter. I would love to do that. I definitely pursued the wrong career. 10-year-old me would be beside herself here. I would have to be tased on sight. And then the final room of the tour is the one that makes me the most choked up. It's a huge model of Hogwarts Castle, beautifully dusted in snow. This had us feeling so warm and festive, we went home and made our own Christmas feast. Hello there, it's a few days later. We are all snugged up on the couch right now. We had so much fun at the studio tour. They really did such a great job with it. It's so cool to see all the props and the costumes that you recognize from the movies. Again, just very nostalgic and makes me weepy if I think about it too hard. I feel like I've gotten way more sensitive as I've gotten older to that sort of thing. Do you ever feel like you can't consume or look at something because you love it too much? I feel like that about the movies and even the audiobooks now. I used to listen to them and watch them like at least once a year. And now I'm at this place where I almost can't engage with any of it because it's too emotional. Like I love it so much I can't deal with those feelings at this time. Does that make sense? Is that toxic behavior? I did get 3 things from the gift shop. I got 2 felted Christmas ornaments to kind of match the other London ones we got. I have this vision of like maybe one day we'll have like a tiny London themed Christmas tree. So this one is a felted chocolate frog box. The other one is a Hogwarts Express train ornament. Thought those were very cute. And then I'm just like a big tote bag girly. If I go somewhere that has a commemorative gift shop, I'm probably gonna choose a tote bag. I don't know what it is about it. It's just like, it's functional, it's fun, I like it. I got this tote bag that's the Black Family Tapestry. This is the kind of merch that I like. Something that's subtle from the world, and unless you're a Harry Potter fan, like you're probably not gonna know what this is. But look, it like even has some of the like burned faces on it. This side has Sirius, Bellatrix, Draco's down here. We have another fun outing planned today. I think this will be our last kind of activity for the month. We did try to go out and see some of the Christmas lights and decorations that are really popular in central London. I was gonna include that in this video, but it was not the move. It was so unbelievably crowded. I couldn't see anything even if I wanted to. We walked into one store and then immediately turned around and went home. The crowds, like it was just too much for me. I had also booked a double-decker tour bus that just drives you around to see the Christmas lights. I thought I was really cracking the code on that because in theory, I would get to see the Christmas lights, but from the comfort of the bus. And I could film it without fear of my phone getting snatched away. But the weather has just been crap. Like it's been too cold and raining to go do it. So that ended up not working out. I still want to do it. Maybe that's something we can prioritize to do earlier next year. But today we got tickets to a museum exhibit at the National Gallery. The exhibit is called Van Gogh Poets and Lovers, I think. It's a traveling collection of Van Gogh paintings. These tickets were so hard to get. The exhibit goes until the end of the year, I think, but I only learned about it in September or October by which time all of the tickets were already sold out. But I really love Van Gogh. It's another like childhood hyperfixation of mine. And Patrick very sweetly stalked their website to find more tickets. He made it his homepage and checked every day for an availability. Then the museum ended up adding some additional time slot tickets, and he waited in an online queue for 4 hours to get us tickets to go see Van Gogh. I sometimes get in my head and convince myself that I suck and everybody hates me. And then Patrick goes and does something like this, and I think, wow, this man really loves me. That's crazy. I was listening to Brittany Broski's podcast recently, and she was talking about the fact that the things that you love when you're a kid, a tween, end up being the same things that you still love when you're 30, 40, whatever. Like, you still have the same interests. They just sometimes get lost along the way to adulthood because of the pressure to grow up and prioritize other things. Our hobbies and interests kind of get decentered from our life, but eventually it comes back around and you can rediscover them. And that got me thinking about what I was getting for Christmas when I was 10, 12 years old. A Harry Potter wand and a book about Vincent van Gogh. Not kidding. You know how every kid gets a weird hyperfixation with like some kind of historical event or figure? Like, hey, why is every 8-year-old obsessed with the Titanic? Mine was Van Gogh. I was really locked into what was going on with him and his lore. Like, oh my God, the life of a tortured artist. And now, 20 years later, I just want to go see Harry Potter in the Van Gogh Museum. And that's beautiful when you think about it. Picturing little you moving through life and choosing the things that you're gonna care about forever. I could also be on the spectrum undiagnosed. There have been some flashing lights on the dashboard, so to speak, about that. I don't know. Van Gogh was a Dutch post-impressionist painter. He lived from the mid to late 1800s. He was an interesting character. Obviously a very talented man, but a very troubled man as well. He suffered from depression, psychotic episodes. He was a heavy drinker. You may know he notoriously severed his own ear in a fit of mania. He spent time in psychiatric hospitals, but he cared deeply for his art and his craft. He cared how it would be perceived, what kind of emotions it would evoke. The work he was creating at the time kind of deviated from what was considered popular or good, quote unquote, in the public eye. In fact, during his lifetime, he only sold one single painting. His work did not start gaining any notoriety whatsoever until his final year or two. He tragically took his own life when he was only 37, and only after he was gone did his work start getting the kind of recognition that he sought. Little did he know he would go on to be one of the most famous, most influential painters in perhaps history, certainly in Western art. The thing I love most about his work is how different it looks depending on where you're viewing it. If you're way up close, it's kind of simplistic, almost childlike, very dramatic brushstrokes and texture, squiggly little shapes. But from across the room, it transforms into a stunning, windswept landscape with movement and texture and color. It's very impressive. Afterwards, we walk through the rest of the gallery, and I gotta say, the National Gallery is one of the most beautiful museums inside architecturally that we've seen. It was just gorgeous in there, y'all. If you've taken an art history class or picked up any art history book, you would be shook in here. They have some very famous paintings. They've got Da Vinci, Van Eyck, Rembrandt, Monet and his famous water lilies. I like to play a game at every art museum called Me and Odie. It's where I point to a painting of a woman and her little creature and say, "Look, that's me and Odie." Hi, I forgot to make an outro for this video. I also had the purest intentions of getting this up before the holidays and just could not find the time, but hopefully you still enjoyed it. It is Christmas Eve for us right now. It is wet and gray, but not terribly cold out. So we're getting our walks out. We're getting some zoomies out while we wait for Patrick to get home from work. And then we're just gonna kind of make dinner and chill. I'm gonna edit and maybe play some more Stardew Valley. I hope you had a good holiday, whatever you celebrate, however you celebrate. I'm sending you lots of love for the new year. I have some resolutions, some self-improvement things that I'm thinking of for myself. Maybe I'll talk about those in the next video. But until then, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.